everybody. My name is Josh Quillen. I'm here with
Andrew Van Dyke. How we doing today, guys?
and we have some amazing guests on the
Yes,
show
we do.
tonight with some incredible, like haunt tech stuff. The dark ride type stuff blows my mind. Spoiler alert: it's a dark ride type thing. It's amazing. It's amazing. I don't want to get into it.
Spoiler alert.
Just yet. But you guys probably have seen them. You probably followed them on Instagram from some of our posts.
We kind of talked about them already, right?
Yeah.
Like dropped a little bit of a hint.
Anyway, I'm super excited, but we have a couple of housekeeping things we have to talk about before we get started. So, first big news is the podcast is officially available on Apple Podcasts. It's available on Amazon.
Yes.
It's also available on Spotify. We're currently waiting on Google and Pandora. Those are the only two that have not gone through yet. So we're available on those three platforms.
Yeah.
So if you go to any one of those three and search Epic Home Haunts, we will pop right up. Make sure you guys subscribe. Give us a rating. Hopefully it's a good one. We would very much appreciate that.
Right?
That'd be fantastic. The audio version of this podcast will go live every single Wednesday. We record here on Sundays, and then it'll go live on Wednesdays on those platforms. In addition to going live on Wednesday, this podcast, so this live stream, is the first episode that is going to be turned off for normal public viewing after the live stream and will only be available for YouTube Epic Home Haunts members or Epic Home Haunts YouTube members.
So join is what he's saying.
So what I'm saying is on youtube.com/Epic Home Haunts, there's a little join button. And if you push that little button, you can choose between one of two different join levels, membership levels, I guess is what it's called.
I think it's more so spending time with us.
Yeah, it's however much time you want.
How much do you want to spend time with us is really what you're buying, okay? And I take it personally.
He does. He cries at night.
I do. Actually, a little bit of tears. I have a cup next to me. I save them, and then I count how many levels.
It's very strange.
It's just what it is.
It's very weird. So that is... if you guys can go there, if you guys are interested in more content or more behind-the-scenes content... live views, live streams of a lot of these different haunted attractions and things over the season as we go film them. Updates that are only for members, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, please.
YouTube.com/Epic Home Haunts. There's a little join button. Go there. And then you'll have access to these live streams and the replays, the full replays. Because a lot of the stuff might get edited out. There might be some stuff that's only for the live stream that then is all of a sudden gone on the edited version.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you might lose out on what I just said. Don't do it.
Yeah. You always want to hear what Andy says?
Kind of. I mean, it might be semi-important. Not all the time. I promise. If my wife actually is on here, I'm pretty sure she's going to say nothing I say is important.
I was going to say,
but
I don't have the
we're going to go with it.
I don't have the comments of right now, so I can't look at it.
Yeah, no, don't do it.
Okay. And then we actually have a piece of news, like amazingly, shockingly.
Yeah.
But
shockingly
from Australia, like this really interesting... I don't know. There's a company in Australia who makes pineapples. I guess pineapples are a big deal in Australia, and that industry has been hit because of the pandemic super hard. So the Australian government and this company have created this, I don't know, event, but they're called Spooky Pines.
Yes, they are.
I have a picture of it right now actually up. Basically, Australia is trying to get people to carve pineapples instead of pumpkins for Halloween. And so just to try to help that industry to come back from the pandemic. And so they've created these things called Spooky Pines, carving a pineapple. It's very Florida. I kind of want to try this. You may be noticing we're wearing the same shirt today. Should I see this? Woo! These shirts are from a company called DOA Co. We can put up their info real quick on the screen so you can check them out. doaco.storeenvy.com. They have a ton of super cool designs. They're actually a local Florida crew. So this is one of their Halloween designs. They have 2 or 3 actual Halloween specific shirts dropping really soon. They also told us that if you go to checkout and you mention Epic Home Haunts, so like I said, like a comment section, whatever, you just say, hey, saw you guys in Epic Home Haunts, they'll send you a free sticker pack because they have all kinds of cool stickers. We have a couple. My favorite one is this one.
Is this one?
Is this Ghoulish Mortal sticker.
There's a little Ghoulish Mortal sticker.
This is super perfect for tonight as well,
I think
actually. Our guests tonight are Chamber of Souls, and they have put together... it's pretty incredible.
Is it really creepy that I kind of just got a little bit of like goosebumps when he said it? because I know what's coming. And the thing is, I've known what's coming for a couple of days, and it's really scary that I got goosebumps right now.
It's so okay. So a little bit of real quick backstory. We've all seen the dark ride stuff that's being done in home hunting. We have Monsters of Mayhem on our channel already. We're with the Cobalt Haunter. We're going to go back out and film with them this year again. Their stuff is incredible and it's amazing, but it's more of a traditional fair type dark ride.
Okay.
What Chamber of Souls is doing blows my mind because it's literally like a roller coaster track. What's the word? I can't remember. It's like a tubular steel roller coaster track is what it looks like. But they're recreating the freaking Haunted Mansion in their backyard. It's insane. So let's flip over. Let's flip over now.
Let's bring some people.
And welcome Chamber of Souls. How are you guys?
Hey.
Hey.
There you are. So
First of all, thanks for having us. We're big fans of y'all. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's awesome.
You're very welcome. We were very excited when you said yes.
I mean, like I said,
Of course, you're gonna say yes.
like I said, I've already mentioned I got goosebumps, but whatever. Let's move on from that.
Yeah, no, Andy's like fanboy.
Dude, this is like I'm not even kidding you. One of my favorite rides. I go back to a little kid. Like when I think about this ride specifically, my mother tells me stories about somebody in my family who actually helped set it up originally in California. Like I really fanboy out for this specific ride. So
me too.
I'm interested to see. I really am interested to see what it all turns out to be, and I think I'm gonna have to go.
We're going.
Right.
No, we're physically going.
Because
for sure.
doing video with you guys or riding it in a video. No. I can't. I can't.
Well, I mean, we're going, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go a few times and you guys show up in a particular chapter of a particular.
Yeah, why
film
not?
That might be maybe being done at the moment. We'll figure that out.
Let's not play with that particular thing.
But yeah, so we'll start with the basics. How long have you guys been hunting and doing haunted attractions at your house?
So I believe 2010. Yeah, and it just kind of all happened organically. We were sitting in the front yard and we were doing this little cemetery set up in the front yard. And I looked at Lynn, now my wife Lynn, and I said, I think I want to do a haunted house in the garage. And she's like, well, you should do it then. So we had maybe 3 weeks until Halloween, and we put one together. The neighborhood loved it, and ever since then we've just been growing and expanding. And so what? 11 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Isn't it funny though how most of these things that we talk about, like some of the people that we run into, right, and talk to, it started out with a front yard display. Like it started so organically. That's so crazy.
Well, the thing is, if I was to go back further, now that I think about it, my son was tired of trick or treating. He was probably 10 years old, right? So I'm like, all right, what can I think of? So what we had him do is I had him sit on the porch, and I stuffed him like a scarecrow. Right? I put straw on him, so he was sitting on the porch next to a duplicate. So there was 2 of these things on the porch, and the people would go to the porch and they wouldn't know which one was real. He'd start jumping up and scaring the kids on the porch. So, that would be the actual very beginning of it. Yeah.
I did the same thing as a kid too.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's awesome. And so is this the first year you've done like an attraction? Has it always been a walkthrough or like a
So we've always done a walkthrough until 2014. We had, I listened here to the Rotten Apples podcast before. I talked about neighbors and neighborhoods and things like that. We happened to have somebody in 2014 that apparently didn't like the 1,000 people walking down the street
in our yard
and all of that stuff. So, but we, so for the last couple of years, we've taken it off. 2 years ago, the fairgrounds around here wanted us to do a haunted attraction for them. So we did a haunted house for the fairgrounds in our area. And this year, I just decided, I told Lynn, I was like, I think I'm going to build a ride. It's kind of.
Wait, so that's how it happened? You literally just, you just turned to her and I'm going to build a ride.
Like, okay.
I knew we were probably going to get to this in a second, so I kind of skipped to it. But I was, I had seen some.
Mind blown. Just the transition between we're gonna build a ride or we're gonna do something at the fair.
Well, 2 years ago, two years ago, I know my wife reached out to you guys, reposted our stuff, but 2 years ago, so I told Lynn, I was like, I think I'm going to cover the house and make the house look like a total. It was last year.
Yeah,
it was last year. I'm going to make the house look like a totally different house. So last year we did that, and then this year I don't know how it happened, but I think it originally started with me stumbling across a backyard roller coaster video, and I was like, I'm going to make our daughter a roller coaster, and then that turned into I'm going to make a haunted mansion ride in the backyard. Is kind of how it happened. So here we are talking to you guys.
That's amazing.
You know?
Yeah, this was I'm looking at my chats here. Yeah, this was last year is when you did if I can bring it up, you did this. Right? You guys your camera's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's great. I mean, it's fantastic. And it's super cool. And were these I can't remember are these custom animations on the pumpkins?
They are from Atmos FX.
Oh, they're Atmos. Okay, yeah. They look amazing. They're fantastic.
Oh, it was awesome. It was so cool.
Their stuff is great.
That's insane, though. Like, if I go to my wife and I say, I'm going to make a ride, she's going to go,
wow.
she's going to go, yeah.
I was like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
And then we did. I was like,
but the fact that you can actually do it is incredibly impressive. Now, I've gone to my wife and been like, hey, I'm going to make a feature film. And she goes, yeah, okay. But that's different, right?
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, 100%. Like I was gonna say, like making a ride is like, okay, that's great, that's fantastic. But I'm gonna go ahead and make a feature film, and it's gonna take up a lot of our time. Have a good time.
So much time.
Sleeping in the car, going up and down. I have nothing but respect
for that. I
would
tell that to people. I'm like, I just wait and I see my husband on November 1st. It's fine, you know. Well, November 1st.
So that brings me to the question. So when do you guys normally start building?
Yeah.
Oh, not this early. Usually, I started with the cart design and the track design in June because the backyard roller coaster tracks wouldn't work. I had to think of it. And I'll show you guys here in a second, but I had to think of a totally different system. So I went through about 5 iterations of the cart, the drive system. I went through a couple different designs of the track. The neighbors were like, what are you building?
The neighbors intentionally go down our street. They're like, what's going on?
The neighbor next door goes, hey, I know when both cars were in the driveway that something's going on in the garage.
Are you having less issues now that it's in your backyard?
I'm having no issues, but what we did this time is we actually applied for entertaining and amusement permit to the Department of Homeland Security. So I'm more prepared this year than I was, in 2014. That was one of the requirements, is that you have to apply through the Indiana Department of Homeland Security. You have to apply for an amusement entertaining permit. I did that. I told them it'd be ready for inspection October 15th. They should come out. It's all low voltage stuff. I'm not really worried about the inspection, so I should be good.
Wow, that's interesting. I know there's some permit stuff that's happened, but that's interesting. So in Indiana specifically, you have to go through, what did you say it was, the Department of?
Yeah, the Homeland Security.
Homeland
Security.
Wow. Oh, that's legit. That's...
like I was when I first got the letter. Wow. So this is what I got in 2014. Is I got the letter because somebody complained. And it was crazy because everything was so safe. Everything was low voltage. We looked out for everybody. Everything was sturdy. There was never any risk really of anybody ever getting injured in any of our haunted houses. But we just had that person that complained. And then the fire department sent us a letter. Thank goodness it was after the season. He didn't send it before. It was after.
Okay.
And one of the things on there was you have to get a permit from the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, and you have to do this and this. And there was the whole list of things. But I can check all those boxes this year. So we just need an inspection and we should be good.
Got it. That's incredible. That's the best way to go about it, because then if somebody complains, it's like, well, no, we're approved. Sorry.
I mean, whatever. Right?
What are you gonna do, right?
Take a ride.
Have a good night.
Come take a ride and relax.
Yeah, exactly. So real quick. So in case anybody hasn't gone on your Instagram and they haven't seen any of this stuff, I have some pictures up.
Okay.
I wanna put. You guys won't be able to see them because
unless you're watching it back, which I think you are watching it back.
Well, yeah, but it'll be a little delayed. But a little behind the scenes for everybody as we're filming this. They're watching a webcam of us in the studio. Yep. Eventually, we'll have the feed looped back out so you guys can see what's actually on the screen. But episode 3, we're not there yet.
Let's take a look.
All right.
Okay, so this is, I believe, your deck, and this is going to be the loading platform. From the pictures you guys sent me today. Yeah. And you can kind of see the track a little bit with the Dune buggy that you guys have made. So explain what's going to happen here on the deck. I have another shot of the deck here.
Yeah, and I'll show you guys this in a minute when I start showing you guys around. That's going to be, my vision for that room is to be Not the stretching room. It's going to be more of the hallway that you walk through. That's got the changing pictures. It's going to have a lightning window in it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a few different lightning windows in that particular room. There's going to be, if you look at that picture, depending on which one you're looking at, there's going to be a loading side and there's going to be an unloading side. And that whole area is just going to be kind of scenic. It's going to have, again, lightning windows. I'm going to try to replicate as much as I can the ones that are in the hallway in the Haunted Mansion. We've been doing lightning windows for 10 years. It's just a matter of getting the right curtains and everything that are going to be similar to the Haunted Mansion with red and gold and things like that. I've already got one wall almost done with the damask wallpaper, and I'm working on the wood trim at the bottom. I'll show you guys that here in a second. But I'm going to have some changing portraits. I've got my own kind of spin on the changing portraits of what I'm going to do. I'm using UV paint, invisible UV paint, and I'll try to show you that in a second. I don't have a very good example, but I've got a decent one, so I'll try to show you that.
No worries.
Okay.
So I didn't want to do. I've seen a lot of the shadow box kind of stuff and how they actually do it, but I'm trying to cheat a little bit on the changing portraits, so we'll see what happens. I'm using some TVs. I'm using some effects for the changing portraits too. But mainly that room, and if you look at the top, I don't know what picture you're showing, but I'm going for that coffered ceiling kind of a look. If you can see the squares.
Yeah, we can see it up there. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can see the squares at the top, I've got a roof that I'm going to put on top of there, and then trim in between there. I'm trying to match the colors as much as I can to that hallway in the Haunted Mansion. It's a lot of work. I got a lot to do still.
What do you mean it's a lot of work? This looks easy.
Yeah.
This is just
this looks like a normal Friday.
About 3 days ago. Yeah. 3 days ago, I was sitting. I think I came in the house. And I looked at Glenn and I was like, I don't know. What did I do?
It's every year. It's like a cycle he goes through.
It's like then she puts me back together, and then I go back to work.
I'm like, you build a whole haunted house in less than a month at the fairgrounds. Like you got it. It's fine. You're fine.
That's that picture.
Yeah. Okay. So and then it looks like the buggies come out and they make a left turn. Yeah.
Originally the idea in my head was this entire thing is going to be inside, right? The problem with that is I don't have the time. I don't have the time to build all the framing.
What?
So as you, what's that?
I said, what? You don't have the time?
You don't have the time by yourself, or just the two of you to frame?
Yeah. So that first curve there, it's going to go. I'm going to have some doors. Maybe they're on pneumatics. Maybe they're on. I'm not sure, but the doors are going to open. That first curve right there is actually going to be outside. So I'm going to put maybe corn stalks on each side of it and have some scares on the corn stalk. But my plan is the car's going to go in between some corn stalks in that first section as that turn. First turn. Yep.
And then it looks like it moves into your like a gazebo type thing here in the back.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll go back inside. That'll go back inside just for a minute. The next picture I think I sent you is the hallway. I'm not sure whether I'm going to let people look to their left and see down the hallway, depending on what effects. I might have like a Pepper's Ghost kind of a thing looking down that hallway. I might have it closed off. I'm not quite sure yet. But as they're going to go into that hallway for a minute, and then when they exit that pergola, they're going to be back out into a cemetery. So that whole back part of our yard is going to be a cemetery. And I've got some pretty cool ideas for that with, floating ghosts and different holograms and things like that.
That's incredible. Yeah. So, for people who can see this on the live stream, for those who are listening to the audio version, that behooves you. Go on YouTube, go check out these pictures. But for those who can see it on this live stream, I'll zoom in here for a second. You can see this track and this is an intense build. Like everything has to be leveled and, very specifically done. Like this is well done. This is insane.
Like I said,
thank you guys.
The Instagram video that I watched I don't think it does justice to watching the actual this right here, just the photos that we're looking at right now.
Yeah. And actually here, what I'll do, there's a video you sent me. I'll just play that video and you can sort of chat over it as we go. So we're leaving the station now. Yep.
So we're leaving the station. And again, so one of the things I mentioned in the video that I'll post probably the next couple of days is this is at about 59% power. And I'll show you guys the setup here in a second. It's not going to go this fast. So the video you're watching right now, it's not going to go this fast.
Yes, because we're already leaving out into where the graveyard will be.
Yeah, so it's way too fast. That was just for the video, just so everybody can see the track, and it wasn't 5 minutes. So they get the graveyard, they go around in a circle. They're going to go back into the pergola. That's all going to be closed in. You go around that side of the pool. All that framing is a hallway. And then wherever you're at this point in time,
we're about to go back into the pergola and enter the hallway.
Yep. So the pergola, that's all enclosed. So that's going to be one big room. Effects to be determined. Not sure yet, but we got plenty of them. Turn the corner. You're going to go past the pool. That's all going to be enclosed. The end of that hallway is going to be another set of doors. That was going to be enclosed too, but I don't have the time. So that's going to jet back outside. Mm-hmm. There's going to be more cemetery, graveyard type stuff. And it's going to go back into the loading area where people are going to get off and the next group will load on.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. So, and you're saying this is about what? That's about double the speed?
Yeah, it's double the speed. It's going to be about a 2 minute 50-second ride is what it's going to be.
Wow.
Because I want it to be slow.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
The other thing I was trying to juggle is because originally this went from me making 4 carts to 2 carts to 1 cart. I mean, that's what it ended up being because the Dune buggy, I could probably do another one in about 3 days, but I just don't know if I'm going to have time. That at the very last minute, if I have time, I'm going to build one more because I'd like to be able to get people through quicker than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But it is what it is.
So we'll get into the cars in a second because spoiler alert, he's got some super cool special stuff planned and set up for the live stream, which we'll jump into literally in just a second here. A couple of questions on the chat. How long, do you know how many feet the track is? Like how long is the actual track? 307,000 feet.
It's probably 300 feet at least. Yeah, it's probably 3. I'm trying to think of, every section is a 10-foot section of PVC. I'm trying to recount all my trips back to the hardware store.
Every day, guess what? I have to go back to the store.
I gotta go get some more PVC. It's probably 300 to 400 feet.
Wow, that's incredible. If I were to guess. Wow, yeah. And it's taking up what? I mean, that looked like, I don't even know. What was it, like 100 foot by 100 foot? 50 foot, 80 foot by 100 foot section of the backyard.
Yeah, I think our lot's a quarter acre. So it's if you, I mean, not to show the video again, but the 2x4, the trusses in between the tracks are every 2 feet. So, and I don't even know how many of those there are. I think there's 5 in between each 10-foot section.
Interesting. So, okay, that's incredible.
That's ridiculous.
The amount I'm literally thinking about like what it would be like to do up like my front door at my apartment, and I'm having trouble going, oh man, it's gonna be a lot of work, and I have to buy this and that, and I go, and you're out here building 300 to 400 feet of track on like a quarter acre of property, and I'm just like, I feel lazy now. Yeah. All right.
Well, I mean, that right there immediately when he said 3 something, anything he said above that, like he could have said 3 feet, that would have been like way better than mine.
That's absolutely mind blowing. Is it all PVC? Is the entire thing?
It's all PVC. Yeah, the outside rails are 1.5 inches. The inside rails 1 inch. It's all PVC painted because it's not UV. UV will mess it up, so you got to paint it something. So I was going to paint it black anyway.
Yeah,
so you
totally.
couldn't see it.
So can we get a peek? Can we?
100%. You can get a peek. Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Here's the thing. Whether or not anybody else is ready, I think we're ready. Just being honest.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Is it flipped? Are we flipped?
We are flipped. There we are.
You okay?
Yes.
All right. So I think I'll start with. Should I start with a Dune buggy? Okay, let's start with the Dune buggy.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got some touch up work to do on this, but the Dune buggy again, it's framed. I framed it in 1x2s, and it just kind of came together really organically. Originally, the plan was, all right, I'm just going to make a bench. All right, I'm going to make a bench, and that's going to be it. And then I said, no, you know what? I'm going to make the back end of the buggy, which is a lot of the video. I think the video that most people saw was the original video with just the buggy. Right, so
I think that's when I saw it first. Yeah,
what's that?
I think that's the first video that I saw as well.
It is. It's the first one we posted, I think. Yeah. And somebody on Instagram had to say to me, "Are you going to make a front for it?" so I had to make a front for it. If we're going to do a replica, we got to make a front. So the front came next, right? So here's the front. there's a few things that I have to do still. I'm going to put a seatbelt in it. I've already got one that I ordered. I'm going to put a seatbelt in it. The other thing I'm going to do is, and this is obviously spread apart for showing purpose, but I'm going to put a 12-volt electromagnetic magnet on here that's going to be synced up to the 12-volt system, so that I can remotely. So when I turn the ride off, it'll turn off. When I turn the ride on, it'll turn on. So I want to make sure that the kids can't push this cart down because it's on hinges.
Yep.
And a seatbelt too, because just our daughter riding it, she wants to stand up all the time and she wants to crawl down here at the bottom of it, and there's all kinds of things. So we want to make sure that we keep the kids safe and we keep them in the cart. So that's pretty much the cart. So this is all foam. Let me go on this side. Everything here is foam. So what I did is I framed it. Yeah, I framed it all, and then I wrapped. I think it's quarter-inch pink foam. I wrapped it around here. I used Monster glue. I glued it, and then I sanded it all to kind of make it as round as possible. And then I used the old critter sprayer to paint it all flat, exterior black. Is what I did with that. So
Wow.
same thing with the front. I made molds on the front here, the side molds. And then I used 1/2-inch pink foam, Monster glued that on there, and screwed it on, let the glue dry, sanded it all, used some spackling as well too, because I wanted to make these edges rounded. I want to make everything rounded. Matter of fact, this edge right here is rounded to the point where it fits a little bit more flush to this. Right.
Nice.
So, but I do have some touch up to do. A lot of this stuff I did, the paint was still wet. We're going to put a lantern on the side here. So as the cart, I know it's not Haunted Mansion specific, but we're going to make a couple of changes, right? So I'm going to have a lantern hanging here. So as the cart pulls up, there'll be a little lantern swinging here, right here.
Oh, that's awesome.
There.
This is fantastic.
The fabric, what's that?
I was just saying, this is fantastic.
This is awesome.
Thanks, guys. The fabric we actually got in an estate sale. There's a big old roll of fabric. And I was like, that's perfect. So we grabbed the fabric and it's underneath here is like an exercise mat that we had in our basement that I stole. And I cut it to shape, and then I put the fabric on top of it. So that is the cart.
That's amazing. Now, is there any, I have no idea how you would do this, but is there any onboard audio in the cart?
So there are a lot of things that I'm still kind of kicking around. I've got the audio track that I want to use. I'm debating whether I make it go throughout the ride or I make it actually inside the cart, like the actual Haunted Mansion. I reached out to, I guess, shout out to Fright Props. I reached out to them to see if they had some kind of a controller that I could put on board. I do have some ideas on that. As far as it's a 12-volt system, I do have some ideas on. I do have some ideas on that. I've got some ideas as far as maybe use a pico volt to make the motor go fast and slow. Maybe maybe I use. It's the triggering that I'm a little confused about how I'm going to work that out. As far as the triggering as the cart moves to make the audio change to certain tracks or certain scares. So everybody has to stay tuned to see what happens. At this point in time, the easiest solution for me is to have audio go throughout the ride, and it triggers different audio tracks as they drive past the triggers. Is what I'm thinking is probably going to be the way it goes.
Yeah, that seems like that would probably be the more economical, easier way to do it. But you're a hunter, so economical and easy is not in your vocabulary.
AKA the track in your backyard. Just adding that in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my wife take over the camera here. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is I'll talk about the track. The track has received a lot of questions. So I took this piece of track out. This was in the backyard not too long ago. I took it out so we could. I've got work to do. We actually have to take the track out to mow the yard because it's. I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. Because I don't want the grass coming up to here, and there's really no way to get in here. A weed whacker won't do it. Nothing. So if you come down here, Lynn. Again, this is 1.5 PVC. Now, if you look at backyard roller coasters, what they generally do is they take a hole drill and they hole drill this part out and they attach the PVC to this side. That way, what they can do is they can have a wheel on the top, they can have a wheel on the side, and they can have a wheel underneath. Because because our ride doesn't do any kind of crazy up and down loops, we don't need a wheel underneath it. And the other thing that I had to worry about, and I'll show you this when I get to the motor system, is I needed clearance for the motor to sit on this track. And I couldn't do that with the pipe over here. So I had to re-engineer the things that I've learned online. So I had to create a spacer. And what I used is a 2x2 here. And I used the hole drill for this. I don't know how many pieces of this that I cut, but a lot. I cut a lot of these.
I can only imagine.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a project. And then I put these on here. Now the ones in between this, I have one back here. So the ones in between this that connect the track, I actually use a 2x4. So I get a little bit stronger on these back here, and I use a 2x4. And I learned how to do this. I got to give the credit to a few different people. I think I gave credit to the guy on the actual bending of the PVC, which I'll talk about in a second. Without the knowledge of that, I can't think of his name. Unfortunately, I can't think of his name again. Paul Craig, I think is his name. And I stumbled across his video on how to. He's an awesome backyard roller coaster maker. Another guy that I learned a lot from was Will Pemble, another backyard roller coaster guy. Between the two of those guys, I learned how to bend the PVC and also how to join the PVC. You basically take some 1.5 inches, you put it on the saw, the circular saw, the miter saw. You cut out about 1 inch of the PVC. You put it in the oven. You bake it for 10 minutes at 300 degrees. It gets soft. You put it and you put it back in the pipe till it cools. You pull it back out, and then you've got your perfect joining area between the two pipes. So the other track that's out in the backyard will join onto this one, and I'll screw that in. So all of the areas where it joins, I use 2x4 on it to make sure it's really strong. And this thing is crazy strong. I mean, we've had probably 400 pounds of weight on this cart without any issues whatsoever.
That's amazing. So how many people can you fit in the cart at one time? I'm guessing it's 2 or 3 at max, maybe?
Yeah, to give you guys some kind of an idea. I'm 6'1", I think, around that area. So I'm 6'1". So, probably 2 adults and a small child, they could probably on the lap kind of thing. What we posted on, I got a sign coming that we're going to put in the front yard. And what I basically posted to be safe was a max capacity of about 350 pounds. It's probably more than that. It's probably a lot more than that. But I wanted to make sure everybody was safe. So 350 pounds, so.
No, that's really smart. I mean, the last thing you want to do is to try and figure out what the max weight of your attraction is with one dune buggy and a track right before. And then,
yeah, I know that just the physics behind the track, behind the strength of the wood, behind the strength of the PVC, behind the strength of all these wheels that I'm about to show you, it's probably a lot more than that. But again, I want to err on the side of caution.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Okay. So real quick. So let's take a look at those wheels, and then I've got a couple of questions for you.
Okay. So, all right. So this again was a long experimental process. I started with one wheel and a side wheel. Okay. Then I started with the motor as one of the wheels. The actual motor here was actually one of the iterations of this cart was the motor was one of the wheels. I thought that was too much weight on the motor, on the shaft of the motor, so I didn't like that. The one wheel, I felt like that wasn't strong enough, so I didn't like that idea. The final design here is what you're looking at right now, and basically what this is you've got the hardware. I used my metal circular saw to cut some of this stuff, but all this hardware I bought, at the hardware store, all these pieces. We've got spacers. I got all these skateboard wheels. I believe they're 80 millimeter, but they all have spacers in them. They all have the bearings in them. I made sure this still moves because as much as I try to level the track, it is a backyard build. It's not going to be perfect. And what this allows it to do is if there's any kind of fluctuations in the track, it allows the wheels to make that adjustment. So again, I know this holds a lot of weight, and the weight's dispersed throughout all 4 of these. So, but anyway, 350 pounds is what we're going with. The final design of the motor system, the original thing was that I stuck with was I'm going to do one motor in the back. Before I do that, this is a 2x6 that's on the back of this, right? So this is a bar stool swivel right here. Hopefully you guys can see this because the lighting is maybe not the greatest. But it's a bar stool swivel right here. Okay. That's going into, I guess, 3/4 inch plywood. And again, this is a 2x6. The one thing I had to take into consideration is this without these bearings that I put right here, this is strong, but with weight over here, like let's say somebody's sitting over here, this plywood would maybe hit this 2x6 right here. So I found these bearings. You can look underneath here.
Yeah.
I found these bearings right here on Amazon. And what that does is it stabilizes it. So if there's any more weight on this side than there is, they're on this side also. So as you know, as the weight, maybe somebody heavier is over here and somebody lighter is over here, it keeps this plywood from hitting the 2x6, because if it hit it, it would obviously grind it and it would have a hard time turning. So that does a really good job as far as that goes.
That's genius. That's absolutely brilliant.
That is awesome.
Thank you. Now the motor system. So this would be the front of the cart back here, right? So all of these motors, these are extremely high torque motors. I don't even know what the torque is, but they're really strong. And so the final design was I attached the motor to this plywood. These are a lot bigger skateboard wheels. I can't remember the millimeter size of these. I got really lucky. This is a funny story. So I was putting my daughter's swing set together in the backyard, and I had some extra pieces to that, which everybody does, right?
Yeah, the perfect anything has extra pieces, but
yeah, right? You know, I don't need that.
And then you get real annoyed at, okay, what did I miss? And then
yeah. So I had these. If you can zoom in here, Lynn. I had whatever you call this nut right here, where it's got like the end of it worked perfectly to attach to the shaft of the motor back here. So I was able to just take this and screw it onto the motor like that. And the motor has a sprocket on it, and the sprocket actually digs into the plastic, the rubber of the wheel.
Nice. Okay.
So there's no slip between the. So I got lucky on that. We're just going to call that luck. Now, what ended up working out for me was this 1-inch section of PVC that's in the center. As gravity pulls this down, it causes like this pinch, right? So as this motor turns this way, it pulls it down farther. Some scientists can explain why that happens, but I can tell you that going backwards, it doesn't have the same traction as going forward, because as this motor drives the cart this way, it forces it down harder. And what's really good about this, and the reason it works, is because, again, this isn't completely level. It's as level as I can make it, but there are sections of this middle piece that kind of go up and down. And this allows it to move up and down with that middle piece of track that is part of the drive system.
I love how everything you've built is it's fulfilling a purpose, right? The track moves a little bit, things, but the solutions you've come up with are geniusly simple. Where it's just the engine, the engine with the wheel is just on a little bit of a hinge, and it just helps it move up and down. It's not overcomplicated, and I feel like a lot of, myself included, if I ever tried or attempted anything like this, it would very quickly become way complicated. And the way you've done it is very neat. It's very clean. I like it a lot.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. So I had one motor on here. Everything was fine. That one video that I think we posted first without the front, there was a part in the ride where I had lost traction. I had to kind of lean. I kind of lean on that part of the ride.
People were making jokes.
Yeah, people were making jokes like, "Was he doing?
He farting there?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I decided I got extra motors because I was going to do more than one cart. So I was like, why not put one in the front too? So I put one in the front as well. There is no loss of traction. This thing's really strong. So the front setup is exactly the same as the back setup. They're both independent. They both do everything that, they both move exactly the same way. So the electronics of it, again, they're not complicated either, right? So I've got a 12-volt system. Now, for the night that we open, I'm probably going to run a couple 12 volts in series to make sure that we keep 12 volts, but I don't run out of battery. I don't know how long one of these 12-volt batteries lasts yet. So, but I don't want, or maybe I'll have a bunch of them on the cart, and I'll have a switch that goes back from one battery to the next battery. I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet, but I'll figure it out because I don't want to change batteries during the ride, obviously. So the setup is basically this. Got a 12-volt battery. It goes into an RF switch, which turns it on and off. I've got a speed control over here. This speed controller is great because it goes backwards and forwards. I've got it set to forward right now. That goes reverse. That's forward. There's your adjustment in speed. This one that I bought tells you what the power is, and I'll turn it on in a second. I'll show you. Let me just do it right now. Right. So if you look at the motors, they're both turning. If you want to do 100%, which we won't do,
jeez,
it'd be more of a thrill ride than it would be.
I say you might need that. You might need that wheel under the track if you throw that to 100.
That's right. So I've got a battery meter on here. It tells me I'm going to have this position in the cart so I can see as the people ride it where I'm at as far as voltage goes, and make sure that people don't get stranded in the graveyard somewhere or wherever.
Now, you're able to see all this data back at the station?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to at least, if it's like 20%, then I should probably change batteries because they may not make it. So yeah, I'm not that advanced yet. So basically what I'll be doing is I'll be checking it as I change people.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna do a lot of testing, I'm sure, too, before we open, and there's no shortage of neighbors that want to ride it anyway right now. And
sure.
And so that's the electronics. We've got a security system at our house, and I'm going to be putting cameras in all kinds of different hallways. I'm going to have every part of this ride monitored, and we may even put one in the cart. So it's possible that I might actually have a camera in the cart as well. And we're going to have, I've got a brother-in-law who might be watching this. Hey, brother-in-law, is going to be.
Have you asked him if this is a part of it yet?
You're watching, buddy. So he's going to be watching and monitoring everybody as the ride goes through. He's going to watch the hallways. He's going to watch inside the cart, or somebody is at least.
Yeah.
I think you just did.
I did. I did put him on the spot. Yeah.
You want to show him that?
Yeah. So back here, I want to talk to you guys about bending the PVC too. So we baked a lot of sand. My wife let me use all of the baking materials, all the baking.
As in hammering them and flattening them out.
Oh yeah. So here, let me just show you the jig real quick. So this is the jig right here.
Wow.
Whoa.
It's flattened up to the air like this. And what I basically did is I took a 10-foot PVC, I capped the bottom. And again, this is credit to Paul Gregg. He's the one that, without stumbling across this, I wouldn't have learned how to do it. And then what I did is I baked sand in the oven at 425 for about an hour. And then I poured all the sand into it, and I capped off the top. And then I took it's so crazy to take the PVC off of here. It's like a noodle. It's like so flexible. And then what I did is I had the radiuses already pre-measured. I knew what the radiuses needed to be. I took a string down here and I just made my radiuses, right, depending on the width of the track. So I used screws. If I were to take more time, I'd probably put something more smooth on here, but it worked fine. I do have some screw indentions, but it has no impact on the track or how the cart is.
Sure.
In the future, I'll probably put some kind of a plywood or something on there. But I would then put the PVC on here, I'll let it cool. This is the inside of the track, this is the outside. Once it cools, it's like hardened, and it's the perfect radius that you need. So the thing that I'm working on now is the walls. So I'm actually
for the loading room.
The loading room walls.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to recreate as much as trying to make it as accurate as possible. I'm even going to try to carve the little statues that are on the top of each of these. The statues in the middle. I know there's some fancy carvings that go above and below the statue. So I'm going to spend some time trying to make it as haunted mansion ish as I can. But I think we got the right wallpaper for it. And so you probably won't be able to see this.
The portrait.
Yes.
My idea for the changing portrait. Let me see if I can. So basically, can you guys see that? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay.
So what I did is we got these at an estate sale. So these two pictures here, I saw them. I was like, yeah, we're getting those for sure. And so we came home and I got some of that invisible UV paint. And I thought, okay, maybe the way I can do this changing portrait deal is I can draw something and use my lightning machine or some kind of other controller to flash as the thunder crackles. I can have, the portrait do changing like that instead, right? So that's an idea. I'm trying to cheat the system a little bit on that.
Sure.
I know it's not how to do it, but
no, that's awesome. And so I'm guessing you painted like a skeleton on him is what it looked like.
Yeah.
And then...
I tried to. Yeah, what I basically did is I tried to just highlight what was already kind of white on the picture. I've got some other stuff down in the basement that I'm working on. I've got a bust down there that I painted a skeleton on that you can only see when the UV light flashes. I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm working on that's going to be UV specific. So as this UV light, as the black light flashes, the UV paint will show a different kind of a face, kind of a thing. So it's not exactly, but I'm trying to make it, that changing portrait kind of theme.
Yeah, so. No, that's incredible. That's a very simple solution for a potentially very complicated problem, which is kudos to you. There's a couple questions in the chat I wanted to mention. First one, how weatherproof is the track and motor system? Okay, so the motor system, not very weatherproof. So the track system is perfectly fine. So let me back up by saying it's been fine. And what I did is, this is going to sound crazy, but I think hunters will understand where I'm coming from on that. I bought truck bed lining paint. It's basically, if you were to get a truck and you want to spray on your own truck bed liner, you would buy this paint. And I bought all of it from the hardware store. And so most of the paint on the 2x4s, and I'm sure somebody's going to tell me that this isn't going to work, but so far it's working. I painted all the 2x4s in this. So far it's keeping the moisture out. There's been no kind of issues with that because it's been out in the yard for at least probably a month now already. Obviously, I'm not worried about the stuff in the concrete. Halloween's only a month and a half away, so we're going to be good on that. But again, I want this to last more than 1 year. Obviously, I don't want to rebuild this thing again. Absolutely.
So I really wanted to make sure that I did as much weatherproofing as I possibly could. And please, if somebody has suggestions, please come to our Instagram channel or Epic Home Haunts and let me know some other ideas of what you would use to what you would actually put on wood to make it black and sit in wet grass for 3 months, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anybody in the community, feel free to reach out on Instagram. It's at Chamber of Souls. Reach out to them and just shoot them a DM with some of the thoughts that you have. So another question was, how many haunt guests do you guys get each year normally? Well, it's been 2014. Well, we minus the fairgrounds, we had when we actually did our haunt in the garage, which is where it was primarily set up. I think we had about 1,500 people show up for those. Good numbers, yeah. Yeah, it was a good time. We actually, for a long time there, until we got shut down, we were doing it for a pet refuge, which is a animal shelter. We're trying to also, we not only love haunting, but we also, if we can, raise money for a good cause, we try to do that too. And that's what we were doing for a lot of years. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Are you guys still doing? I'm guessing everything is donation based. There's no. It's donation only. It's free. It's like if you want to donate, that's great. We haven't picked out a charity yet. I'm sure we probably will by the time this is over. But if we can help out,
somebody, then we're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing that I don't know if a bunch of I mean, obviously maybe the people in the chat do, but like home haunting in general is a huge charity thing during the month of October for so many different communities. Biggest example, well, one of the biggest examples I know of is Beware the Dark Realm out in Santa Clara, California, or Santa Clara, California. What's the one by Six Flags?
I think Santa Clara.
This is Santa Clara. Santa Clara and Santa Clarita always mix me up because I've lived.
Santa Clarita, that's a show, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is. It's also in NorCal. So I lived in Santa Clarita for a long time, and then I would always mix up with Santa Clara. Anyway, long story short, they're every year during Halloween they do food collection. So they don't take money donations; they take food donations, and they end up becoming the number one supplier of food to the local food bank every October. Wow. And it's gotten to the point now where that food bank literally would not have food for like Thanksgiving if it wasn't for this haunt. So home haunting is a big thing in every community that it's in, and that's one reason why we're trying to push it, trying to get people to either do it or just continue to do it, go visit them, go donate, because they're huge community events, right? Like the big stuff is great. Going to, Halloween Horror Nights, not scared from it. It's all great and fun. Yeah. But you got to support the local community stuff.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Honestly, it's my favorite part. And like I said, hearing you guys say that, doing it for a charity, that adds, like, regardless of how much it brings something that wasn't going to be there, right? And some of these things are just so easily left behind. Like nobody pays attention to the fact that you guys have said nothing about, hey, this is how much it's going to cost, or this is how much we're going to charge, or anything like that. And it's just like it makes everything that you're doing that much easier for me to love about what's going on out there.
The more homeowners that we connect with, there's so many. We're all like, it's like a community, right? I mean, I always hear the same things like, we don't have the time. There's always one more thing to do. It's just a big community.
Well, I think it's just the people that, like, our neighbors just walking by. Like, we had gotten a dumpster to do spring cleaning, and they're like, "You guys aren't moving, are you?" And we're like, "No, we're cleaning." But it's like, it's just that. It's just like bringing that joy to people around us and just giving them that scare. And they intentionally drive down our street. They're like, our kids make us drive down the street to school and home every day. And that's what we love about it.
That's amazing. And you're not the only ones. That's the way it is pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. So a couple of questions real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up here as much as I want to just chat for the next 2 hours. So the weather question, actually, with the motors, there was a second part to that, which was, have you tested like the traction on the wheels? If there's any form of like moisture on the track, like are they pretty sticky, pretty tacky on there?
I have not tested it. What my plan is to test it, and my other idea is to what is it called? What is this stuff? Hold on a second. What, guys? What's the infomercial? The rubber spray.
Oh, Flex Seal. Is it Flex Seal?
So this, I'm considering spraying that middle 1-inch PVC with Flex Seal.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but again, I'm telling everybody this is weather permitting, because
we could have snow.
we get some crazy weather over here
in October.
We had snow. It's been 90. It's been storming. It's been windy. One of the things that was a challenge with this build is planning for the wind, like putting these walls up and framing this. I can't just do stage walls. I can't do stage flats. I can't use 1x2s. I got to use 2x4s. And I would love to be able to do it differently, but the wind, sometimes the wind in October, it's pretty much almost taken down our displays before.
A couple of questions. So you said you had 1,500 people come through the haunt normally, like a normal attraction. So if you're expecting anywhere near that amount of people this year, is obviously you were talking about you have one Dune buggy and you'd like to make another one. Like, how are you going to figure out throughput? Like, are you going to have to close the line off like 2 hours before you close? Like, how are you going to figure that one out? Do you even know at this point?
Still working.
Yeah, you're scratching your head, so that answers everything.
TBD.
We talked about doing like an online sign up.
Yeah,
like, here's the website.
That's interesting. Yeah,
she's virtual queuing everybody.
Even still free, but
I don't
want to
turn people away.
Yeah,
right? Like, I don't want to turn people away, but
we are in a neighborhood. And
there's obviously going to be a capacity to it, right? Like,
yeah.
So I'm probably going to have to make another cart, guys. I'm probably gonna have to.
We've got time.
Yeah.
He'll do it. We've got
So
on the
much
list.
time. It's like 5 weeks away. You totally got
Right.
time.
Jeez, Louise.
That's crazy. The Scare Barn in chat did say that they use the same paint and it works. So hopefully you're good to go.
Good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think they're referring to the truck liner.
Thanks, guys.
the
Appreciate
truck
it. Making me feel better about myself.
I'm pretty sure you're good. I mean, looking at the quality of the stuff you're doing, I'm pretty sure.
Because I swear I
you're
walked into the home, the Menards, whatever, and I was like, yeah, this should probably work. And I just started spraying everything down with it. You know?
Thank you guys. This has been fantastic
Thank you.
for joining.
Been
Can
great.
you let anybody? So, where do people go to find more about you guys? Obviously, there's Instagram, but where else can they go?
Well, that's really it right now. So we've done a really bad job of updating our website. So I don't even want to. I mean, it's chamberofsouls.com.
We didn't even put the fairs. Yeah.
We put some of the stuff on there from the fairgrounds. I just haven't messed with it. Instagram is the main place to go.
Where are you guys located? So everyone knows.
Yeah, we are in Granger, Indiana, and if you follow us on Instagram, I'm not sure of the hours yet. I'm not sure of the date of opening, obviously. So we'll be posting all that stuff on our Instagram page and the hours and our address and everything way closer to determining what that's going to be.
Perfect, and we'll make sure to repost all that information for everybody as well.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Well,
You guys
Yeah.
are great.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you. Like, we appreciate you guys. Like, the fact that you guys are doing what you're doing, and it's so hard to do, especially now with pandemic stuff and all this stuff. It's just really difficult. But you guys are pushing through and still doing it and trying to better your community is fantastic. So thank you
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we look forward to seeing live and in
We're
person.
coming out. I don't know when, but we're
Come
coming out.
on,
Do it.
guys. Come on out.
Do
We got a
it.
spare bedroom. What do you guys?
We're
Man.
gonna come out. We're just have a party.
Hey,
Hey,
we're gonna
tell me when.
we're gonna test the speed of the
Yeah.
cart.
And we want you guys to lean in the opposite direction when
Yeah.
we turn the corners.
It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that Keanu Reeves movie Speed when they're coming around the corner.
Right,
and they all
right.
sit on the one side
Oh
of the bus.
yeah, in LAX, just everybody get on one side.
Here's a throwback for the kids. If anybody has seen the movie Speed that came out 47 years ago,
Yeah, we're gonna definitely film it, and we'll do a behind the scenes tour. How fast can the cart go?
yeah, no, that's
No.
fantastic. No, let's never do that.
No.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
We'll have to have you guys on again, and in like November, December, we'll talk about how it went.
Yeah.
Sure.
Figure
Yeah.
we'll have an aftermath episode. We'll see.
It'll probably still be up in the backyard too.
Yeah,
We'll just
exactly.
throw some Christmas
Yeah.
lights on it. And
Yeah.
then-
Yeah,
Dude,
everybody.
no.
The
You
number
just
one
do-
question I get from the neighbors is, they're like looking around like, "What are you going to do with all this when you're done?" That's like the number one question.
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion Holiday. Haunted Mansion Holiday.
Oh, see,
Come
that's the
on.
thing. You got to switch it over. You have to do.
Just add Jack.
Yes.
And keep it
That's
going.
what we-
All right, guys. But if you guys are hunters and you have a haunt, you want us to know about it, we want to know about it. So shoot us an email. You can shoot it to contact@epichomehunts.com. You can also check us out on Instagram and Facebook or DM us and send us messages there. If you guys want to see more content that is exclusive content, and because
Yes.
it's going to happen, when we go out to Indiana to go film with these guys, if you guys want some exclusive live streams, you got to sign up for a membership on YouTube, youtube.com/epichomehunts. Hit the little join button, become a member. Inexpensive monthly payment. We're also making haunt assets. We have the first Haunter asset pack dropping this week. So we have all kinds of things we're trying to make for the community and just give them out to our members as much as we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys again. Thank you, Lynn and John. This is fantastic.
Yes. Thank you guys so much, and like I said, subscribe so you can spend more time with me. I'm sorry, I just have to add that in
But
there.
do it, everybody. Come on, do it.
There you go. Hey, there they are. All right, guys.
Perfect. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. Thank you, guys.